Hey guys, EST here, and I picked up this beautiful $10 eBay fireproof bag because I thought, if I'm going to be storing paper money in my safe, I should probably at least just give it a basic layer of heat protection because my safe absolutely has none whatsoever. If anything, it would conduct heat, which I'm actually worried about because I think that this is rated for air temperature of 2000 degrees, not direct I'm touching metal temperature of 2000 degrees. I could be wrong, there wasn't much in the way of directions, and actually I lied. I think they're just full of crap and this is probably going to light on fire. This zipper is where I think we've got a problem, because that is definitely plastic. This, I don't know what they could have possibly been thinking. I should just light this on fire right now, why not? Oh, yep, okay. Yeah, okay, yeah, there it goes. Yeah. So that's a no. The zipper itself is metal, but the teeth, those are plastic. So there is no way, in my opinion, those are surviving above like 300 degrees or something. Unfortunately, I don't actually have a thermal camera, so we don't know what the temperatures are, but I thought, let's start with 2 candles. So what am I going to put in here to test? Well, we've got a laser printed cat meme. Okay, that's going in there. Then we've got, obviously, a very important document. That is Sharpie ink, that is security carbon ink, that is an oil pen, and that is a normal ink pen. So, as if it's going to come down to that, but you never know. And then, like I said, laser printed, so we've got pretty much everything in there. That is actually 28-pound paper. So, then, all I'm willing to risk on this is $1 whole, plus the 10 that I spent. Oh, there's one more thing. Receipt paper. Let's throw that in there. Alright, I got the camera ISO changed so you can actually see the flames here. Just roaring away. Terribly dangerous. I think maybe 300-400 degrees, something in the neighborhood. Isn't that what candles are? I don't know. Well, this is rated for 2000. Thanks, camera. Anyway, this is rated for 2000, so we'll see what happens. Just hold it over there for, we'll say, I don't know, 20 seconds or so. Alright, we've got a little, maybe slight discoloration? I don't know. I thought I kind of saw something, but... Oh, that's hot. That is hot. Yep. That is not how you check if something's hot, is stick your finger on it, but something right around that area is extremely hot on the outside. But is it hot on the inside? Alright. Oh, no. Uh-oh, guys. That's the thermal receipt paper right there. That's not good. Let's see, if I hold it this far above the candle, it'll go. So, I mean, like, we're talking 150, 200 degrees, this thing's gone. So, it at least got kind of hot from this size fire. It is absolute fantasy that this thing is going to protect anything. Wait a minute, don't click off the video yet. Hi. Editing version of me from the future. Wow, that guy in the past was an idiot. Spoiler alert, it's actually a pretty good product. It survives a much hotter fire than this. So keep watching to see just what we do to this. It's actually impressive what it survives. Now it's full of wax. Well, let's step it up a little bit and see if I can damage the actual paper. It said 2000 degrees of air temperature, not moving at all. Okay, that's very optimistic. Let's just say 1000. I think the ignition temperature of paper is between 400 and 500 degrees, so if this even buys you a little time, that'd be cool, but like it's gonna have to buy a lot of time. Well, I happen to know that alcohol burns a little bit colder than a campfire or a house fire, so I thought let's just make a little instant campfire. Alright, so we got a little bit of flaming liquid alcohol. It's going to burn pretty quick here, but it burns cooler than a campfire or a house fire, so let's hold it over and see what happens. That's about the best I could do for a reasonable distance, but yeah, let's just let it burn out and see what happens. Should be a little bit less than a minute. The top of it isn't too warm. Okay. Let's unzip it and find out. Hey, the zipper hasn't been damaged yet. That's a miracle. Alright, well... It's a little warm. A little bit. Well, the 2 important documents are still intact. Alright, let's step it up. Alright, we've got a little propane burner going here. This seems to have at least double the thermal output of my electric stove in my house. So, oh, and that's set on low, by the way. Let's see what it does to some wood. Well, that's what it does to some wood. That's actually slightly less dramatic than I thought, but this wood is incredibly not dry. Alright, I got these 2 sticks wet, and let's see what happens. Hold it about 4 inches above, which I happen to know is very hot. I'll put it there for maybe 30 seconds. Alright. Alright, I mean, it looks like it may be warped, but that could have been gravity, so I'm going to let it cool off and we'll inspect it. I am extremely surprised that that zipper is still intact. Who would have thought? Well, let's check on the documents. And they are slightly warm, like maybe 90 degrees, just above ambient. Wow. Okay, no damage, no nothing. This is definitely a little bit warped. Just like along here, it's definitely damaged. It's kind of poofy, I don't know, yeah, compared to the other side, which I spilled wax on. This, it's just got this big stretch and divot in here, but no actual damage, not really. In the inside, they got this weird like backpack material here, kinda. That didn't melt either. So, all right. I mean, I'll give this a pass because if your safe got this hot on the inside, or just if you just leave this laying out in a dresser and the dresser lit on fire, it's not going to be as hot as a propane grill. So one last test. I've got to know if that zipper can survive direct heat. It was kind of in direct heat, but it was around the corner. So I'm just going to blast it for 5 seconds with this torch lighter. So compressed jet of butane, if it can survive that, I'll be impressed. Oh, that's a no. Hey, editing me from the future again. I wanted to change the way I stated my conclusion here. Now that I had time to actually look up the temperatures, I had to film this in one day and we were losing daylight, so I rushed it. But yeah, I mean, this is spec'd for 2,000 degrees. I put it over 3,500 for 40 seconds, and all it did was warp slightly, and the paper was fine. Paper burns between 400 and 500 degrees, so it didn't get to that, and I took it out as quickly as I could, and it was barely warm to the touch. So that's pretty impressive. Yeah, a directed jet of burning butane directly flowing at high speed towards the zipper torched it instantly, and a lot of plastics start melting at 200 Fahrenheit, so I'm a little worried about those teeth. And I do actually think metal teeth would be better, they just didn't appear to want to spend it on that. I also do wonder about that plastic on the stitching. I feel like if I put the edge of it over the flame, it would have done a little bit worse. But then again, I don't think a 3,500 degree flame was very, fair. So I'm impressed. I'd probably give this like an 8 out of 10 and I'd recommend it, but, something occurred to me. Why don't I just buy the small one, buy another bigger one, and then put the small one in the big one? I mean, I've seen fireproof bags for like $70, and they're like all this, multi-layer tested, this certified by this group. Okay, cool. But if I'm not mistaken, and I very well may be, you actually, if you double the surface area and like the 3D space, so the thickness and the two-dimensional plane, by putting, insulation inside of insulation, you'll actually get more than cutting the thermal conductivity in half. Yeah, so drop like at most $22 on it. And then you can even put the smaller one inside of the bigger one, zipper side down, so that the two weak points are opposite. I mean, I can't imagine that wouldn't survive just about anything. So yeah, I put a bunch of my paper cash in here. I set it in my metal safe on the middle tray and then put a piece of cardboard below it. But also remember, really cheap, thin, crappy plastic melts at like 200 Fahrenheit. So when I put my gold and silver in here, which I only own about 250 bucks worth, I don't really feel like owning more than that is a good investment. I took them all out of the coin holders, the bar holders, the plastic bags, and the little Ziploc bags, all that stuff, and just wrapped them in 2 layers of really thick 28-pound printer paper. Modern laser printer safe paper, which is almost all printer paper, I think it goes to about 800 degrees inside the printer, so it's actually extremely flame resistant. So I've just got a bunch of silver coins, gold and stuff wrapped up in paper because the paper didn't light on fire, and the melting temperature of silver is higher than that of the flammability of paper anyway. And I'm very comfortable with that setup. So that's what I personally settled on for my own actual use. And I'm actually buying a couple of these as Christmas presents for my family members. So that's my, I guess, official endorsement. I mean, they didn't send me a review copy. I just bought this cash, and this is not a sponsored video. So it is a 100% honest conclusion. Color me impressed. I think anybody storing paper money anywhere in their house should absolutely have one of these or something similar. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.